Folks, we are talking baseball here in the middle of December, and I promise before we click away, I'm going to give you good reason to stay. We are chatting about why the structure of Shohei Ohtani's deal with the Dodgers is absolutely not a big deal whatsoever. I'm going to tell you why, and right after that, I'm going to dive into why the New York Yankees and their fans need to be cautious about the Juan Soto signing and his long-term future in the Bronx. So let's just jump right into it. The people who are telling you Shohei Ohtani's contract is a problem are people who are probably upset that they missed out on him in free agency. Someone has to explain to me why this would be a big deal. For the longest time in the history of baseball, we have celebrated deferred money contracts. If I remember, Ken Griffey Jr. is still on the Reds payroll, and we celebrate Bobby Bonilla Day as an unwritten national holiday in sports. We knew Ohtani was going to get paid, and if you're upset about it and you've defaulted to now picking apart the contract, which the average fan does not care about, what you're telling me is that you're a little pissy that he didn't sign with your team. So you've decided to kind of deflect from that and now focus on a conversation about deferred money, which honestly couldn't be more boring. Listen, I'm sorry your team doesn't have the cash. I'm sorry your owner didn't want to go out and get him. It ain't fair, and neither is life. If players and owners want to make a change to the structure, the CBA will be up in 3 years and they can have those conversations. But for now, don't tell me that you truly believe that there's a problem with this. And the last thing that I'll say on this topic is, when has buying a team with the most amount of payroll, when has that consistently ever won anybody in baseball a ring? If you've been watching the sport long enough, you know that some of the highest paid teams like the Red Sox and Yankees have trotted out subpar teams for at least the last half decade. And the Diamondbacks, they're in the same division as the Dodgers, completely worked them last season. And for the Diamondbacks to be in the World Series with as little as they're paying players, don't tell me that this is going to be a shoo-in for the Dodgers. They still have plenty of moves to make, and I think you need to get over it. So now let's have the chat about Juan Soto and the elephant in the room. The New York Yankees haven't been a winning franchise in a long time. This isn't a question if Juan Soto makes the Yankees better or if he's exactly what they need. He's the best lefty hitter in the game, and it ain't close. There are very little doubts that he's gonna show up and put on a show in the Bronx. Questions about this team are always the same. Can the highest dudes on the payroll stay healthy and consistently contribute? Secondly, you always have to ask if the guys that Cashman brings in who are well past their prime, are they going to be able to go late in games? And the third question is, how will the formula that the Yankees have trotted out for the better part of a decade, where they rely solely on power, how will that compare to a changing MLB that sees teams with the most dynamic, athletic, young, fast, and energetic dudes with an incredible toolbox win championships? There's a reason that the Atlanta Braves and the Rays are always in the conversation. They've got one of the better young cores, and they don't rely on the home run ball. Listen, Juan Soto has said the most important thing to him is winning, and the Yankees simply have not won. They have underperformed since 2009. And if they don't put it together this year, Soto is absolutely going to walk out the door. You cannot rely just on the lure of the short porch and the lights in New York City. That's an outdated formula, and we know Juan Soto is going to do his part. He's going to get on base a lot, but it's all about what surrounds him. And if Cashman can clean up his mess on the pitching staff,